to our 12 o'clock Beluga show. For those of you just joining us, again, my name is Teresa. Are you guys excited for the show? That was okay. It's a beautiful day out. You're at the aquarium about to see some pretty amazing animals, so let's try that again. Are you guys excited for the show? Much better. Excellent. Keep up that energy. So we talked before the show started about where in the world you can find most beluga whales living. And if you can remember that for me, shout it out nice and loud. The Arctic, or say it very quietly. But yes, you're right, the Arctic. And the Arctic, as we discussed, is a land of extremes. In the wintertime, it is very cold, icy, and dark. The summer, there's an explosion of life, up to 24 hours of sunlight, temperatures increase. And belugas, they're very well adapted, and they spend their entire lifetime up in that area. Now, they face many challenges living up in the Arctic. One of the newest challenges they are facing is the changing climate. So as the planet continues to warm and the ice melts more and more, new challenges are arising every day that the animals of the North must face. What we're going to do today is discuss what makes beluga whales unique, and how do these adaptations allow them to survive in the Arctic all year. So we have been joined by our marine mammal team who have come in to do a session with the belugas, so it's the perfect time to start off with some introductions. We actually have 3 generations of females in this habitat in front of you, so let's start off with the youngest member of our beluga family right up front. Giving you a nice little wave there is Tika. Tika is our 2-year-old baby beluga. She was born on June 10, 2008, and she's working with her trainer, Phil, today. Now, her mother is in the habitat here with her. She is also coming out in front. Her name is Keela. Keela is 15 years old. She was actually born right here at the Vancouver Aquarium as well. And she's a pretty special beluga because she was the first beluga to be both conceived and born in any Canadian aquarium. And she's working with her trainer, Indy. And last but certainly not least, we have Grandma Aurora. So in the very center of the habitat there, Aurora, she's in her early 20s, been here since 1990, working with her trainer, Sarah. So 3 generations of females, I think that deserves a nice big round of applause. And we've also been joined by Bobby and Molly towards the back of the habitat as well. Now, belugas are extremely well adapted to the cold Arctic environment, and you can tell that when you look at them. Now, they don't have a thick fur coat like a polar bear or a sea otter, but they do have something else that keeps them warm. So if you know what it is, shout it out nice and loud. What do belugas have that keeps them warm in the cold Arctic waters? Blubber, you are right. And you can see it wiggling and jiggling as they move through the habitat. Up to 40 to 50% of a beluga's body weight can be made up of this thick, fat layer. To give you an idea of just how much that is, if everybody in the audience can give me a really big thumbs up, and put out your pinky finger, now put your thumb to your belly button, and look down. If you were a beluga whale, this is how much blubber you would have surrounding your body to keep you nice and warm. So it's essentially like swimming around with a mattress of fat. But when you look at a beluga's body, there are some areas that don't have this thick layer of blubber. And when you think about it, when we head outside in the cold weather, it's often our hands and our feet that get cold first, or our extremities. Belugas have extremities as well that we're getting a fantastic look at right now. Those tail flukes and their side or pectoral flippers don't have that thick layer of blubber, so they lose a lot of heat to the surrounding water. So they have relatively small appendages to reduce the amount of heat that they lose. Now, with these small tails, they're not the fastest swimmers when compared to other species of whale and dolphin, but those tails are still extremely powerful. So for those of you in our underwater gallery, keep your eyes out for Keela in front. You'll notice just how powerful that beluga tail is. And there she is. You can give her a nice big round of applause for that. It takes a lot of energy to get a mattress of fat out of the water. Now, in this cold environment, it's no surprise that for much of the year, the Arctic Ocean is covered in a very thick layer of ice. But it's ice in this area that makes life as we know it possible. It provides a surface area for the algae to grow and hiding places for many marine invertebrates, fish, and even marine mammals. Now, belugas are adapted to deal with the Arctic sea ice, and you can tell this when you look at their backs. Now, looking at the back of our belugas, what does it look as though they're missing that other whales and dolphins have? That dorsal fin on their back. You are right. Now, it's not actually missing, but by not having a dorsal fin, it allows them to quickly and easily maneuver underneath and navigate through all of that ice. Now rather than a dorsal fin, they do have a dorsal ridge, or that little raised section you can see on Aurora's back in the very center. Now with ice being such a dominant feature up in the Arctic, changes in it can have a pretty great impact on the animals that live up there. And unfortunately, nowhere in the world is climate change being felt more heavily than up in the Arctic. Now how is all this happening? Well, just like our belugas have the right amount of blubber to keep their bodies nice and warm, planet Earth's atmosphere has just the right combination of gases that keep it at a comfortable and livable temperature for us. But when we burn large quantities of coal, oil, and natural gas for energy, essentially what we're doing is thickening the blanket of carbon dioxide that surrounds our planet and is causing it to warm and to change. Now we know the lives of beluga whales will be affected by this change. It will affect their food web. And as the ice retreats, we can also see a lot more boats heading up into that area, putting noise pollution into the water. Now if you'd like to learn more about how this may impact the belugas and the other animals that live up there, I encourage you to visit our underwater viewing gallery before you leave here today. But belugas face many other challenges as well, especially in the wintertime when darkness covers the landscape for up to 24 hours a day. Now because of this darkness, belugas live in a world of sound and can make a wide variety of different calls. We even got some vocals from Tika in the far back. So they are known as the canaries of the sea for the variety of different chirps, clicks, grunts, and squeals that they can make. And a lot of these sounds are for communication, but belugas also rely on sound to navigate. So because of the prolonged darkness up in the Arctic, they can't always rely on their eyesight, so they use an animal version of sonar. Does anyone know what that's called? Called echolocation. So what the belugas do is they emit a series of high-pitched clicks from within their head. These bounce off of objects around them like fish and ice, and by listening to the echoes that return to them, they can tell the distance and even the shape of these different objects. I want you to draw your attention to the forehead region of our belugas. You'll notice it might be moving a little bit there. That's called their melon. And by changing the shape of their melon, they're able to focus and direct the sounds that they're producing. It's much like twisting the head of a flashlight to focus a beam of light. So imagine being able to hear what your surroundings look like, even in the dark. Now, fortunately, winter doesn't last all year long up in the Arctic, and as I mentioned before, the summer is a very different place. Up to 24 hours of sunlight, temperatures increase, the coastal ice starts to retreat, and it opens up new feeding grounds for the animals. So to talk to you more about beluga feeding, I'm going to pass over to Molly towards the back of the habitat.
Thanks, Teresa. Hi, everyone. I'm giving you a wave so you can see where my voice is coming from. Belugas are opportunistic hunters, which means they will eat just about anything. Here at the aquarium, we feed our belugas a combination of squid and small fish, such as herring, capelin, and salmon. In their natural habitat, belugas will also eat marine invertebrates like clams and worms that hide under the sand at the bottom of the ocean. Now you might be wondering how they get to this food since they don't have hands like we do. Well, belugas actually have a unique feeding technique that very few other whales and dolphins have. Belugas can use their flexible lips to spit water into the sand on the ocean floor and uncover the animals in this sand. Now if you'll take a look at our belugas, they're going to demonstrate this technique for you now.
There we go. So belugas will often look for food in the shallows or the estuaries, which have become ice-free this time of year, and belugas are extremely comfortable in shallow water. So even in our own habitat towards the back, we have a beach area that they will often head up to, and females will seek out these shallow areas to give birth to their calves. But summer is very short up in the Arctic. Soon the coastal ice starts to reform. Belugas must move out of the shallows, and the entire cycle starts all over again. So we learned today belugas are very well adapted to their Arctic environment, and as I mentioned before, they're Canada's most abundant whales, so more beluga whales in Canadian waters than any other type of whale. Unfortunately, however, some of the populations are endangered and are facing new challenges due to the changing climate. But there is really great news because there's something that each and every one of us can do every single day to help out. And it can be as simple as just trying to use a little less energy in our everyday lives. So we can do little things like washing our clothes on the cold cycle, hanging them to dry rather than using our dryer. If we're doing things like that already, excellent job because every little bit counts. But today we'd like to challenge you to think even bigger about bigger changes that you can make not just at home, but at school, at work, and in your community. So on behalf of myself, the trainers, and our 3 incredible beluga whales, it looks as though we might get a goodbye from our beluga whales as well. Well, thanks very much everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day here at the Vancouver Aquarium. Once again, my name is Teresa. If you do have any questions, don't hesitate to come on over. And if you'd like to view our underwater gallery, simply go right behind you for a staircase on the right-hand side, or all the way around the curve to the left for a staircase and an elevator that can take you down. Thanks very much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.